Hello, guys. Welcome to Mental Health for Professional Athletes and College Athletes. Today, we're having a very, very important person, my first guest ever, Jack Heyworth. I'm really pleased I'm bassing about this. So just tell me, bro, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you, brother. How are you getting on?
I'm very, very, very excited about this today, and I'm very, very happy. So let me tell you, I decided to create an sport agency. It's already coming out on March. It's called Eternal Sport Agency. What I want to achieve with my agency is to help athletes to maintain their net worth, to help athletes to get into professionalism sports, to become elite athletes. I also want to help like small brands in order to achieve like bigger goals, maybe to partner with other athletes, so kind of like marketing as well. And the reason I'm doing this YouTube channel podcasting is because I want to also spread the knowledge of athletes to help others. So in this channel, we're going to talk about everything that covers sports, from mental health to let's say sports psychology, finance, athletes management, everything that we can cover.
Yeah,
So
man.
I seen that you have a page, an Instagram page that you trying to like inspire people and like try to like put positive vibes on them. Can you talk me a bit about that, please?
Yeah, of course. This is where your editor is going to do an amazing little of my Instagram here.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, like, we'll talk a little bit about kind of my background and like the pro tennis days later. But yeah, basically at the minute, obviously lockdown, COVID's hit. It's a huge thing. We're in the midst of like a mental health pandemic more than
Yeah.
a COVID pandemic in itself, and it's hitting young adults the hardest. There's a little stat for you here. Here you go, a little stat already. 17 more people per day are taking their own life, which I find just ludicrous. It's the craziest thing ever. And I heard this stat, and I just thought, you know what? Like, we all have to acknowledge this thing that is in all of us. It's in every single one of us, and I think there is. I felt it before. This sense of like you don't want to let others have your weaknesses, especially as a professional athlete. I think this is kind of how it's come to fruition in like my normal life now. You don't want to let others know you have weakness. That was always the thing. You wanted to put your best foot forward. So yeah, to give you a bit of background on why I've created kind of a mental health and personal development page. It's the first lockdown. I'm a happy dude, yeah. I'm a happy dude. Always have been. I've always been the guy, the annoying guy who sees the light in every tunnel, yeah. And the first lockdown had some like relationship issues, had some family stuff going on, and then lockdown hit. 2 weeks in, I just was like ridiculously kind of sad, in a way where I just felt like these walls were coming in. I felt so alone. And I had like a week where I would say it's as close to what I understand depression could be. I don't think it was depression because that's like a longer period of time, but it's as close as what I could understand it to be because it was non-stop, relentless white noise the whole time. Yeah. So I did things to work on myself. I did some personal development stuff, some mental health stuff. And then, yeah, next lockdown came. Similar issues happened. Broke up with another girlfriend. Woo, woo, woo. And yeah, basically, I was fine. And the last 4 months have been the happiest 4 months of my entire life, which is crazy when to think like 8, 9 months ago, I was probably the saddest I've ever been for that period of time. So I think using my little story, even though it's not at all comparable to anyone else, I think it's just helpful to have another person, a normal dude who has kind of struggled and in a way, in a quick amount of time, turned it around, which I think is exciting for people to know. So that is me rambling on about what I do. Essentially what the page does is it just brings to fruition different things about ego, different things about insecurity, about different kind of things young adults face. And I just rant on about it like I'm doing now.
Man, that's great because you know something, being just able to be that guy that will answer someone's messages and be able to just connect with them and just share them your story and just tell them, let's say, listen, bro, it's not about life, it's just a bad day or a bad week. You will get through it. Spreading that positivity, that's something that many people lack of, like I think it's essential that humans connect with each other. And I think, weaknesses at the end, they make us humans, it's nothing wrong about like feeling that you are like not good at something, or you, because I think that people with mental health, people have like a stigma, like it's like, oh, if you have like mental illness, you are soft. I'm not soft. I mean, you know how it takes a lot of courage to admit you have an issue, to actually like call your friend, call your mom, your dad, or go to a specialist. I have an issue and I want to fix it. That makes a difference, because it means you want to move forward, and not everyone has the courage of moving forward. Some people just like to stay where they are.
Yeah, and you know what? It's almost like a bigger issue than that, because in a way, people, there's a difference between like a mental health condition. So that's something that is less in our control. There's ways to help it and manage it, but that's less in our control. And then there's kind of mental well-being, which is often dictated by societal influence, environment, and the close people around you, your own internal thoughts, which are able to change. So the mental health condition stuff, that's for the pros 100%. That is not my bang here. I don't know it well enough. I don't add value to that section. I feel like I can add a little bit of value is the mental well-being, where, the thing is, it's like, oh, it's weak, it's this, it's that. It's like, it's normal. Like everyone has that thing inside them that sometimes questions themselves. And it's just those escalation of thoughts. And I think when you start to understand that it's normal, like, as I say, I'm a regular dude and I was in a bad way for a bit of time. Who cares, man? Like, this is the thing. I remember the other week I posted about my little story that I've just basically told you. It was exactly the same, basically. I just said, oh, this is what happened. And I got like, it was lovely, but also it was almost weird, because I got so many messages that were like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. This isn't like a sad story. This is a happy story, that something was wrong. I was in a good enough place to realize that I needed to kind of come out of it and get, change some things up. And now I'm the happiest I've ever been. But there was almost that stigma of like, oh, you okay? Like what's going on? And I was just like, that's not what it's about. It's about, this is a journey, and everyone's on their journey, and everyone's in a little bit of a different phase in their life. Some are good, some are bad. But as long as you're moving in the right direction, that's what it's all about.
What would you say that was your approach? You told me you had two different approaches. Let's say first lockdown, second lockdown. Obviously, you had some family problems in the first one. You were like getting also from like a dark place because you had like problems. So what do you think was your different approaches in the two different situations? What was your approach?
You know what, bro? It's all about perspective. I think what a lot of people don't realize, it sounds very airy fairy, but like the way you see the world is the world. Like it literally is. There's like a great saying. It's like, you can either like mope about in the rain or you can dance in the rain. And it's that emphasis behind every situation is what you make of it. The first lockdown was exactly the same as the second lockdown. In a way, the second lockdown was worse for me because I was moving to a new area. I didn't know anyone. And yet I approached it in such a different way. The first one, I was like, oh man, this sucks for me. Like, why has everything happened to me? And I took no accountability. It was everyone else's fault. And I was blaming on everything else. And then the second lockdown, I just took account of everything. I was like, I understood myself. I understood the situation. And I understood that with the right tools, I could get to an amazing place. And I did. So I think it's all about perspective. If you see the world in a positive way, it becomes a little bit brighter. If you see it in a dark way, everything can be so negative all the time. So it's that mindset that changes everything. And obviously this is where in professional sport, this is probably one of the most key things that people will require to learn. The fact that if you go out on the court, the pitch, whatever, in a mindset of I am like, not even unbeatable, I am going to put everything on the line here. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to kind of put everything on the court, the whatever. It's a very different approach to like, oh, like I'm a talented guy, like whatever happens. Like it's a very different approach to those two things. So I think it's definitely something people can apply in elite sport.
I think is a lot of focusing on the positives, like what could go well instead of what could go wrong. You know, because some people, which I don't like, they're always focusing on their problems, but they're like thinking, oh, maybe now because of lockdown, I cannot maybe go on holidays. But they're not thinking that some people have lost their job. They don't have even money to get to the end of the month. They have kids to take care of and so many responsibilities. And some people, they have food, they have everything in life that they need, and they still complain. You know, it's always, you need to look to the side that will make you like grateful. You know, you need to practice gratitude every day, you know, like, cause, okay, I don't have the last car of the market, but I got a car. Some people need to take the bus. Maybe I'm not eating the best food, but I'm eating food, you know, and many people don't realize about this in their daily basis, which I think is very wrong.
If you know what, mate, if you look at all the people who are ridiculously successful in this world, the two things that separate them is when they were at their lowest, had the least money, didn't have a great relationship with the family. They had everything against them. They were able to be grateful and they were able to visualize what the future could be.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. The second thing is like when you look at, like, for example, you know, the Conor McGregors, the Rafa Nadals, the Zidanes, like all these, like Messi, all these players, they've always just been themselves. They've always been authentic to who they are.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of, like, with what we see on social media right now, like we're always seeing the 0.1% lifestyle, and that becomes like normal. And then we're all, in a weird way, we're all chasing this not normal lifestyle, which we feel is normal.
Yeah.
And then when inevitably a lot of the time we're maybe not reaching that, it gets us down. So it's all about the game in life that you can 100% win is being the most authentic version of yourself. You're very unlikely to be the richest dude. You're very unlikely to be the best looking dude. You're very unlikely to be the smartest dude. The game you can win is being the most you version of you. That's it. Like, that is literally it. And that's the whole game.
Yeah. And many people forget that you only need to be loyal to yourself, because you are the only one that shouldn't betray yourself. You know, because when you do that is when you starting to like get further away from your dreams or from whatever you want to achieve, you know, when you start trying to be someone you are not. And I think social media is affecting mental health for athletes and for just average people. Example, why is affecting athletes? Many athletes, when they go in their, let's say, when they have their halftime, anything, they go through social media and they'll see what people are posting. Or like, now this guy missed these three, people making memes about this guy missed a free kick, whatever, in football, or this guy sucks, why they don't train him, you know? And I think this is so toxic. And it's making sometimes athletes, this is a confidence destroyer. You know what I mean? Because some people, maybe they are confident about their performance, but then they see fans that are like just trashing them, you know, and it's affecting so badly in this way.
And I think, you know what the key is? I think it's a balance between having confidence, because you need confidence to be able to perform at your optimal level. So you need to be confident in your own abilities.
Yes.
But then also objectively, you need to be self-aware. If you miss a free kick, for example, as one of the examples you gave, as long as you think, okay, what actually happened there? Did I do the right process? Setting up what went wrong? Let's analyze this. How can I improve for the future? That's it. It doesn't matter if someone says you suck. Like, ultimately, the reason you got in, if you're in professional sport, the reason you got there is because you're the 0.1%. You have a mindset that very few other people do. That's it. So the fact that, you know what? I was going to swear then. Am I allowed to swear on this podcast? You know what? But like, the big thing is the fact that people let comments from fucking random people like Sally Jones 63 on fucking Instagram ruin your life and ruin your day because this person said this random thing who means nothing to you. You don't even know this person and you're letting them ruin your day. What the fuck is that about? Like, why? How ridiculous is that? Like, this is the craziest thing ever. Like, when you're a pro athlete, your mind has to be a cocoon. Your mind has to be only your thoughts and your small pack around you's thoughts. That's it.
Yeah.
The biggest pros in the world, they don't have massive teams. They have a close-knit unit. And that's what it's about. Like, you can't let other people get into your head. And I know that's easier said than done. It comes from someone who has let, social media get in their head before. But you've just got to understand that whatever you do, if you score the best free kick ever, someone's going to be like, oh, you could have got it closer to the corner.
Yeah. The problem is that fans or just normal people that watch sports, they always have something to do, and they always try to give suggestions to the pros. Like, there's many memes out there of people mocking MMA fights, and then these people, they are from their living room in their sofa criticizing a guy that is going inside an octagon, a ring, whatever, to break his face, and you just mocking them. Why? Just why? You know what I mean? And there is a guy, he's the pound for pound best grappler in the world. His name is Gordon Ryan. He does something that he exposes people that criticize him. Normally does this on Instagram, which many people say, oh, your fighting style is very awkward, is very bad, you are not good enough, I cannot understand how you're number one. And then he normally shares their post, someone that is works in some place, has nothing achieved in life, is smoking people that are training 7 and 8 hours a day.
Yeah. You know what? I've got a little story that relates to this. I posted it on my Instagram the other week, but it was someone sent me a message the other day.
Yeah.
And the message, it was from someone I knew, and I don't know if their intent was bad, but it came across bad. They sent me a message saying, oh, why are you wasting your time on the life coach, which is at the Instagram page? They're like, why are you wasting your time on that? And to be fair, I've got loads of other stuff going on. It might have been a message that just said you've got other things going on. And I kind of looked at it really objectively, and I thought, maybe they're looking out for me. Maybe they're trying to help me. Maybe they're saying your time could be better spent. But then I think what actually was going on was there's a certain amount of jealousy and judgment that comes from, I wouldn't be willing to do that, and he is. I have to bring him down. That's it. With people in pro sport, I never made it. I had a bad knee, so I have to drag this person. This person's I would have beaten you, but you're rubbish now. This is the thing, and all you can do from the person, for example, in my situation, all I did was I felt empathetic. I felt empathetic towards this person. The fact that, having enough time in your life to go, screw you, Jack. I'm going to show you, what? You've got to be in a bad way to think that way. You know what I mean? So I have this utmost empathy for I get it. Life might suck for you right now. That's okay. I'm trying to do something. I'm aware, might not pan out, but I'm going to try. That's it, man. You've got to try these things. Because I think ultimately we all have something in us that says that maybe we could just be great. There's that thing in us. And most people, the problem where they fail is they don't even try. They quit before they've tried. They hit one obstacle and they're like, oh, no, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah.
The people who are successful, the Conor McGregors of the world, the Khabibs, to name the UFC people, the big stars in sport, they have overcome so much.
They never quit.
They never quit. This is the thing.
They never quit. And being honest, we also need to think that many people work with issues that we can see. And with this, I mean, there's many people that are out there criticizing people, but you're never going to be criticized by someone that is doing less than you. Mm-hmm. It's you are the number 2, the number 1 never is going to come to you and criticize you, but the number 3 will criticize you, you are not good enough, I'm better than you, always try to bring you down. Mm-hmm. And these people, because man, I got it every day, why are you doing podcasting now? Or why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? It's just a waste of time. Excuse me, is it your time? I'm taking your time to use it or something. It's the time I'm deciding to apply to things that I want to succeed in, things that I believe I could be great at if I don't quit or I keep going through them. So I just don't get people that I just think they have an sad life and they feel better by telling someone off. It's not healthy for them, because at the end, if you have a sharp mind, which I think I got and you got, at the end, you could maybe get annoyed 30 seconds, 15 seconds, and then like, it's just not worth it.
The thing is, well, it's all about just being like, it's all about just being self-aware, yeah?
Yeah.
The likelihood of, like, for example, I'm going to talk about my situation. The likelihood of me succeeding with what I actually want to achieve is quite low. That's the facts behind. There's 8 billion people on the planet. The fact that I could potentially make a huge difference to that is a very low. I'm against the odds. Like, we all are against the odds.
Oh.
So, but the problem is, the only way you'll ever know if you could is if you give it everything to try. That's the only way you can know. And if you learn from every single experience and you meet the right people, you make the right connections, and you're actually productive with your time, it changes everything. It changes everything. Like, for example, when I was, it was about a year ago, I started another company, and I'd have say a client at like 10 o'clock. Yeah. And my body was like, 10 o'clock. And I didn't want to wake up, and I barely did. And in a way, is that passion? Like, is that if you care about something, yeah, if you give a shit about something,
yeah,
do you think you can sacrifice a little bit of sleep for that? Not to the point where you're not sleeping. Like, as long as you're getting a good amount of sleep, like, that's okay. Like, you should be able to sacrifice a little bit of sleep for your end goal. I saw this amazing thing, and it was a motivational speaker. And it was this guy who basically said, if you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, you'll be successful. And like, if you rationale that, you're like, that is true. Like, it's so true. If we truly did not stop and just committed to a cause with relentless action, but accepted who we are and understood that, you're born with a skill set and trying to go with your strengths, most of us would be in a lot better position than we are now. And you've got to bear in mind, yeah, for example, us two, we're in a fortunate era. We're in the era of technology. We're in the era of social media.
Yeah.
I can text anyone on the planet right now through social media.
That's it.
That's unreal. How cool is that? Like, that's just crazy.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And you know something? You can learn any skill for free. Any skill. Like, just go back 20, 30 years. My parents, your parents, they would have killed to learn things from just a piece of iron and cables like we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like a computer, that's it. They never had these opportunities. If they wanted to find something, they need to go to the library and take 2-3 hours, book by book. We can just find anything in seconds.
Mate, Elon Musk doesn't have an aerospace degree, and he is the head rocket scientist at the biggest, like, space company out there.
Yeah.
You can learn everything from speaking to people, applying, and also just, YouTube, books. Everything is on the internet. Every single thing you'll ever need is on the internet. And I don't know if people don't realize it, or because it's sometimes slightly hard to find, people are like, they'll scroll through the first page of Google and it'll be all ads, and they'll be like, oh, no, it doesn't exist. Mate, there's another 100 pages of Google. It's probably out there. The information is probably out there,
Sometimes when you give something easy to someone, they just ignore it because it's too easy to find. Because how long does it take, whatever, like how to improve my mental health? How long does it take that? You could be watching, you could improve your mental health just by listening to mentors, listening to videos. Maybe there is groups out there that you can reach and you can talk to someone. You could just improve. If you are feeling a bit bad, you're going to feel a bit better. You know what I mean? And it's simple as that. Before, people didn't have the resources to do that. If you had like an issue, you just deal with it as it is, and that's it.
And you know what's interesting about that is, like, in life, yeah, everyone has ideologies or beliefs. Everyone has beliefs. So it can either be like a belief from like a really young age. So say your parents are like, oh, tennis is the best sport ever. That's a belief that I've been brought up with. Or say your parents go, oh, you suck. You suck as a kid. That's a belief you take forward. That's in your brain forever. Yeah. The only way you can break that belief is if you see multiple things, so multiple stimuli triggers, and a trigger could just be, a picture on Instagram that opposes what you thought was true. So a picture on Instagram that says, now you can be amazing.
Yeah.
And if you see enough of those triggers, whatever the idea, if you see enough of those triggers and you relate it to this emotional thing,
yes,
you then have the opportunity to change the ideology that you suck. Nah, I don't suck. I'm great. And you can change that with action. So it's all about having the event, seeing loads of things that could potentially help. So for example, with yourself, you've watched, these amazing mentors, these motivational speakers. I'm sure people who've done something similar to you to learn.
Yeah.
And then you thought, oh, I could do this. And then you've created action. And that's the ultimate way.
But I think it comes to like how bad you want it. Because some people, they just want it to happen. Like from 1 hour to another one. They don't want to read, research, get the information. They just want the answers. They don't go through the questions, through the multiple questions, through the multiple like ways it could go. Nothing in life goes only in a straight line. There's nothing. The only thing that goes in a straight line is life. You die, you are born, you die. That's the only thing that goes straight in life. The rest has so many different ways to go that is incredible. People just like miss them out because they are just lazy. You know what I mean?
And I think what's worth mentioning. Like, it's okay to be lazy. If that's what makes you happy, if watching like 10 hours of Netflix makes you happy and you can live with that, that's like okay. That's like amazing for you. Like, I know for me, happiness comes from, trying to be as successful and trying to make as big an impact as possible and trying to, be the most me. Yeah. And I think when you say like, I think our generation is the most entitled generation ever. So what I mean by entitled is we think we're owed something. We think we deserve a roof over our head. We think we deserve food on the table and we think we deserve an easy job and be able to reap the rewards. Like, that's not how life works. No one who is successful gets there by luck. You get a competition winner, a lottery winner, whatever. Yeah. Being successful takes a ridiculous amount of work. Like, not even like what you can fathom as what work it takes, double it, times it by 17, and then maybe you're close. Like, there's so much, your life has to be that thing. That's it. Which is like, and people don't realize this. People think you can, I want to start a business. The latest thing is let's start a business. And that's a great idea. I hope people succeed. However, it's okay, I'll set up an Instagram page. Oh, why am I not getting followers? Why is this not happening? Why is it not just like working? Oh, it's happened for other people. Why is it not working for me? And it's like, other people probably send out 100 messages a day saying, oh, review my content, see what it's like. If you send 100 messages every single day, guess what? By the end of the year, you've sent out 36,500 messages. And if no one likes your content, maybe you do suck. Maybe you need to change it. There's so much stuff that you can do, and people don't realize that they want the quick fix, and life doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and getting back to what you said about, because let's say comparison our time to let's say our parents' times, we barely suffer a struggle. We barely suffer a struggle because my dad is pretty old. My dad was in a time that it was like a dictator in Spain, My mom was in Cuba with a dictator as well. So they know what it's like to suffer and starve, What's the war that has happened to us? Coronavirus? And it wasn't that bad because people had social media, people had things how to contact each other. Before it was posting letters, Back 30, 40 years ago, you will send a letter to someone and he will reply you 3 weeks after. Now you can email anyone. You can, if you are smart enough, you could have adapt and your business would like keep going, COVID or not COVID, you know what I mean? And the problem is that and this is how I feel about creating my business. You need to understand why things are not going the way they should go. Because I think people give up because they don't understand like what went wrong. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm not getting followers. But why I'm not getting followers? Why what I'm missing out that is not bringing more people into my business? Why people are not engaging with my business? People need to ask these questions to themselves and understand the bits they are missing, apply them, and then like recap, like, okay, I apply what I was missing. What has changed?
I massively agree. I think that yes, and also like you have to judge stuff based on a period of time. Don't judge your success based on a month of producing content. Don't judge your success on 6 months of producing content. Like the people who are successful, like I've got a great hero at the minute, a guy who's like a billionaire, and he's called Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if you know who he is. Do you know Gary Vaynerchuk?
I can send you his book later of Crushing It if you want.
Yeah, I've literally got it behind me. So like,
I could have sent it to you, but no worries.
It's cool. I like the paper, but like, it's this dude. Yeah, he was posting on social media for ages, and no one gave a shit, and he kept doing it. He kept doing it. And what happened? Say I can't remember, it was 11, 13 years later.
Yeah.
Then he gave attention. But it's because he was doing it for so long he did it because he cared. And I think one thing that like young adults need to remember is you're passionate about what you do. I'm passionate about what I do.
Yeah.
Don't try and monetize your passion too quickly. When you have a passion, explore the passion, feel the passion, let that come out. Don't go, oh, like I have this passion, like, do you want to buy it from me? Like, I think one of the worst things I ever got taught as a kid was don't do anything you're good at for free. I think that's bullshit. I think you should definitely do things you're good at for free and that you love for free because you love them.
Yeah.
Like the goal should be to be happy. And if you can spread that happiness to as many people as possible, fucking delightful, awesome. But if not, you should still keep doing it because you love doing it.
Yeah.
That's the goal here.
And I'm telling you something, and this is 100% accurate. If you love something and you do it for free, it's gonna come a time that you're so good at it, that you're so great at it, that people will need just to pay, even if they don't want, because you are so good. You are great in what you do, because for example, I want to start my agency, and imagine I will keep doing my regular job, and I want to do my agency the first 2 years, not getting any money, like literally, unless I need to create like a certain thing for someone that will make me hire someone else that I need to pay from my own pocket, of course. But if I can do it myself, and if it takes me 1 week, 2 weeks, I'll do it for free, because at the end, I want the knowledge, I want to learn, I love what I do, and I'll do it for free just to help people and to also make people sure and let them know I love what I do. And when you do that, you just need to like keep going. Everything will come at a point.
It will. It 100% will. Literally, young people just need to be patient. Don't monetize their passion too quickly. Yeah. Like it's a really simple formula. Like, and the thing is, the only other thing I say is like, the other thing that people might worry about, is the fact that, okay, so like I'm quite fortunate. You're fortunate. You've gone, this is my passion. I love this stuff. This is this gets me going. This gives me tingles on my arms. It does everything for me. I am the same with 2 fields that I work in. So the reason I found my passion, touch wood, it might change. The reason I've found my passion is because I have gone out my way to experience a shit ton of things. Like I've gone out my way to experience every different field out there. I've done it just with good intent. I've tried to experience as much as physically possible. And then, hey ho, I'm like, oh, mental health. This is cool. You can use this to be successful and like be happy. That's fucking cool. Oh, like the biggest challenge that elderly people face. I'm doing a PhD with elderly people in a minute, trying to help them reduce weakness. The biggest thing that elderly people face is weakness. This is the thing that makes them the least happy. I can maybe impact that. Fucking awesome. Like these 2 things are amazing. I'm going to dedicate my life to try and help these people. And I'm going to help myself in the process. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to try and be successful myself. The worst case scenario for me after I get a PhD is I'm going to be a lecturer. That's a pretty good last case scenario. That's a good lowest thing that happens. If my page takes off, if my other things take off, it might be way better than that. But I'm going to do whatever I can in my power while I'm on this planet to just make some form of impact. And it doesn't have to be big. It could just be the small community around me.
That's it.
As long as this is it, mate.
Because I think some people focus wrongly sometimes, because they want to impact the world first without even impact their own friends or their community. You know what I mean? You cannot just go from playing Sunday League to play Premier League. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? You need to impact the people around you, then the people that are around the people that are around you, and you go from there. Because the problem is nowadays, and I think also social media impacts, because you see many people that they are doing like fake advertisement. They're selling like like steam and smoke. They sell like wrong business ideas. They sell like things that are not right, and they give fake expectations to people. And I think Gary Vee speaks a lot about that, about expectations. When you draw an expectation, like you work like for a year doing something, and you expect to get a certain amount of things in return, you're going wrong. Because then when you don't get the things you're expecting, you go into depression. You go into a bad point in your life because you are expecting something. Never expect something. Tomorrow is not promised. Just keep going every day.
This is the thing. I like that because that's a very Gary thing to say. And like, it's what you need to do is have amazing intent, have really like true, pure intent of helping, or even if your intent is to help yourself, as long as you're doing good, that's okay. But as you say, no expectation. There's always going to be a small part of you that's like, obviously I want to be here, but that's the problem that, entrepreneurship, as Gary Vee says, is so idolized. It's like, oh, this is your way out from that crappy like 9-to-5 job that you're slugging away. This is your way out. And it's very hard to be an entrepreneur. It's very hard to be I'm not one. I definitely am not one. I'm very passionate about a few different fields. I can't buy and sell shit. I don't know it doesn't click. That's not how my brain operates. I'm not an entrepreneur in any means, but the problem is you're getting a lot of young kids who are like, that's my way out. Let's create something. But you've got to bear in mind, there's another 300 million kids also doing that. And this is the thing, it's about setting your expectations. Like the likelihood of either of us, purely based on the numbers of actually doing what we want to achieve, is low as fuck. It's so ridiculously low. However, every time we put an extra day in, every time we, go to bed that little bit earlier, get up that little bit earlier, that's a small bit potential that you have higher to increase that. It's about, it's about optimizing conditions. Yes. For me at the minute, I've got a fuck ton on. Similar to you, I'm doing fucking PhD. I have a full-time job. I'm running like the life stuff in mental health and recruitment. I'm running the kind of social media stuff. I do modeling. My weeks are like 100-hour weeks, yeah. And now what I've done is, okay, there's only 24 hours in a day. I've got to understand that, yeah? How am I going to optimize my day? So what I do now is I get up at 4 a.m. I get up at 4 a.m. in the morning. I go to bed at like 9. I'm not having any sleep. I'm getting 7 hours sleep. I go to bed early. I get up really early. Yeah. So this morning, for example, I had sent probably 200 messages to different people before all my friends were up. I'd worked out. I'd done a full gym routine before anyone was up. And there's no distraction of your phone. No, there's no distraction. So it's pure work. That's it. And that's cool, man. You've got to optimize these conditions for success. And it just puts you that one bit closer.
I think the skill of time management is something that most people lack. Even myself, because, I told you I work 12-hour shifts. Sometimes I try to do as much as I can, but then I sleep 3 hours, sleep 2 hours, and that's not healthy. And now, because I have 3 different things going on in my life. I have my job, then I have I'm going into doing masters now in a couple of months. I have also the acting school I told you, and then I have this. So now I have literally not time for anything, but I'm happy. I'm not sad about it. I'm happy. You know what I mean? I'm very happy. I feel proud about what I'm doing. And being honest with you, I've been chasing people for the last week. I've been let's say, I think I sent around in the last 10 days, around 190 emails, and I only got 12 replies. Do you think that's keeping me from quitting? Do you think that's going to keep me that's going to make me not send emails next week? Monday we're going back again. We're sending 100 emails again. I mean, it's the only way you can move forward, because that's what it separates you. The fact you want to push every day, a bit more. Because I'm telling you,
you know what's important as well. So there's something that's quite clear that you need to separate as well. Is some people are disillusioned as well. Like some people have the idea that they are unbelievable in the field, but they're actually not. Some people create a product, or they'll create something, or they'll create a service. And if no one fucking wants that service, it's pointless. Like the key thing, and you'll know this from the Gary Vee stuff, you'll know this from any entrepreneur ever, is although, yeah, you can be a sales guy, or you can try and like, you know, you have to add value to people. Like when you message someone, if you're messaging someone the first time you've ever messaged them and you're pitching them your idea, you're an idiot. Because why is there any emotional buy-in? Like, why are they going to read it? No, get to know, like, who are they? Who are they? How can I give you value and also you give me value? How can that relationship work? Because most relationships work in business based on, I give you a product that's valuable to you. You give me money that's valuable to me. In normal day-to-day life, it's exactly the same. It's just the value thing is different. That's literally it.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you a mistake that everyone does. People, and I learned this from Jordan Belfort, The Wolf of Wall Street. You probably know about the movie and that, but he's probably one of the greatest salesmen in the planet. What people normally try to sell or try to pitch the idea to the wrong people. Because to be honest, in my case, I would never try to approach, let's say, I don't know, like a philosopher, a history teacher, even though I need to sell, let's say I create like a product. I create like, let's say, sport t-shirts. I would be stupid if I try to sell them to everyone. You need to try to find people that are interested in sport products or athletes. Why you would try to sell, let's say, your t-shirts, your sport t-shirts, why you will try to sell them, let's say, to people that maybe they don't practice any sport, they just do something completely different for their life. People need to like divide and like set targets to the right people they need to contact. You cannot just contact everyone out there. You need to make a list and you need to create your small circle of people that you wanna contact. You know what I mean?
I agree, man. And I think it's probably worthwhile saying, like, obviously people who are listening are like listening for an intent. Yeah. We haven't achieved it yet. And I think this is what is exciting about it. These are the stuff that we are trying to implement, but we haven't achieved it yet. So this is all like speculation at the minute, which I think is something that's important to highlight, because ultimately the reason I gave you, and I'm happy to go over by half an hour, is because one day, maybe your fucking stuff will pay off. One day, maybe this will be like the Joe Rogan experience. That's pretty fucking cool. If I'm the first ever person, you know what I mean? That's pretty fucking cool. Like, you know what else is going to be cool? Even if this doesn't pan out and I'm successful, I can go, oh, look at this clip when I was chatting to my buddy and we were talking about all the stuff we were implementing. Maybe it wasn't going to work, but fucking future me might be like, thank fucking God you did all those things. Thank God that you did all these little things on a day. You sacrificed everything. You sacrificed meeting your friends. You sacrificed staying up late. You sacrificed, everything, money, everything for this goal. And even, if you don't succeed, it's fine. But if you do, your future you will be like, thank fuck, literally.
But at the end, don't get me wrong, I want to make it. I want you to make it, don't get me wrong. But at the end, the feeling that I don't want to have is regret. Like, I did, being like 50, 60, I wish I had do that postcard, man. I wish I'd just do my videos, Now, because at the end, there's nothing wrong about this, because I'm going to learn something about it. And learn is success. It's knowledge you get. Because the things you told me, many things you told me, I didn't knew them. Or things you're telling me, I could use them afterwards or implement. Or the things I'm telling you, you can use them as well, So at the end, we're helping each other. And I wish and I would like that everyone that will listen to this video podcast, like, takes whatever they think is useful of this conversation and apply them to their business, to their life, to whatever they want to use it, but just use it in a positive way,
Yeah, mate, this is the absolutely correct thing to do. And like, it's all just about, you just got to be self-aware, man. Be self-aware, know what works for you. Like, I've just started this 4 a.m. shit. Yeah. It's tiring as fuck. I've been up a lot of hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people that won't work for. Like you've got to figure out when you're productive. In the morning, I'm quite productive. I can get stuff done. A lot of people have that kind of, the classic 8 till 2 shift where they can work really productive into the night. I'm not that. Well, I used to be that guy, but I feel like that isn't the way to go for me. So it's all about like, mate, if people actually listened to what, the Gary V's, the Tony Robbins, the Jordan Belforts, these amazing people said, they'd be all right. They'd already have made it if you actually listen to what they say. But the problem is that's worked for them because they are them. You have to get what works for you because you are you. And that's it. Don't copy, appreciate, take inspiration, and then write your own list of shit that you want to do. Because it's got to work for you. That's it.
I'm telling you, because at the end, you need to do the Jack way. You cannot do the Warren Buffett. You cannot do the Joe Rogan. You cannot do the Elon Musk, the Bill Gates, no. All these like sucks massively. You need to use their knowledge in a way that you can adapt it to yourself, but not like do exactly the same steps, because you don't have the brain, the resources, or the whatever that guy had. You have your own brain and you have your own way of working, and you need to use it in a way it could like help you. But you need to, as I told you, you need to always do it your own way. Do it your own way. That's the best way to do it. And I was gonna tell you, I will cut this after. I have class at 7, so we could stay till 55. What do you think about that? Because you didn't tell me you want to stay longer. If you would have told me, but thank you very much for staying 20 minutes.
I wasn't planning to, but like I had a thing and I've seen my phone pop up and someone said they were going to be 50 minutes late. So I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Carry on.
Okay. So yeah, I was telling you, at the end, you need to find the way, because sometimes I feel that people want to be like someone else too much. And that's not even healthy, because they are different, completely person. Because I don't know, for example, myself, I have here the book of Warren Buffett, for example. I read it. But I just take the knowledge, not the person. I take the knowledge and the experience. But at the end, because he made these mistakes doesn't mean I need to avoid those mistakes. I need also to taste the mistakes, because you don't learn by watching videos of people like breaking their knee or by people having injuries. You learn by having the injury and like go through it and like,
Yeah, mate, I'm 100% on board. I think that's one of the key things. It's just like, as you say, I'm never going to win the game of being the most Eugenio. Like, you're never going to win the game of being the most Jack. It's this classic kind of dilemma. Just fucking you do you, man. You do you, boo. That's it.
Because at the end, no one is better at being you than being you. So no one.
You're right. Like, it sounds ridiculously simple, but like, you know what's funny? When I've listened to stuff that's like, the big people who are talking, you've got to actually like, the words aren't enough. You have to actually like think about what the words mean in a true sense. You have to actually go like, okay, how do these words apply? So maybe we'll do something like, what's your like biggest tip to people? Because my biggest tip would be, if you're trying to educate yourself, don't educate yourself in a passive way. If you're listening to a podcast, you can listen to it like while you're doing something else. If you've got time, make notes, make your key phrases that resonate with you. Do something that you understand that, affects you in a big way. Because I listen to loads of podcasts and sometimes the next day I'll be like, what was that even about? And I forget. And I'm not actually, I think I'm helping myself. I think I'm learning all the time. And am I? No, fuck no. That's just noise in my ear. So it's about understanding how, when you're able to actively listen to and actually actively apply what you're hearing, because otherwise it's pointless.
And what I also like do a lot myself when I listen, let's say, to videos, podcasts, I try to like always use the idea in a way it could help me. Let's say, because at the end, that others people's idea are ideas that they create in order to improve their life. And you don't have that life, so you need to always to find a way how this idea or how this like method or technique could like make my business, life, mental health, whatever better. You need to apply it to your own reality, not to others' reality.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
So yeah, Jack, thank you very, very much, man. Listen, I'm very proud that you were my first guest ever, man. I think probably in a few months or in a year, you will be like the honor guest again when you come again, to
100%. That's your aim. I want you to still be going, regardless of whatever happens, still be going in a year, and in a year's time, I'll do exactly the same for you, man, wherever I am.
Same. On this day next year, if not, like we try to do it the same day, if not like in the same way, but exactly. we run it back again,
Exactly.
My brother, a lot of love for you. Thank you very much for giving me your time. Time is the only thing in life that doesn't come back, so I appreciate you giving me your time today. Big love, take care, and we'll see each other soon.
I appreciate it, man. Take it easy.